What's up? It's your boy Carcino here, and let's get into it. The Eminem versus Nelly beef. Now, any beef in the world that was to take place, one of the most least expected would be Nelly versus Eminem. It just was out of place. It didn't make sense, and basically, I was shocked. I never expected to hear, see, or even fathom a beef where those two would be like at each other, like we finna battle. That's like for real. And this was people was talking about, oh, this happened when Country Grammar was out. When Country Grammar came out, Nelly got a chip on his shoulder because other rappers was dissing Nelly. Because Nelly was getting a lot of praise, and they was like, man, that corny rap. And they was basically word of mouth. You know, people was just side dissing. So Nelly had a bit of a chip on his shoulder because Nelly, y'all don't really know Nelly too much. Let me explain to you. Nelly has a temper. You know, he's total street. Even though the music sound cupcake and Country Grammar wasn't my type of album at all, St. Louis is more like down south than it is Midwest. But it's close to the Midwest. So when you go to St. Louis, it's as country as can be. So this is right up their alley. But a lot of people associate it with Midwest. So this wasn't really our groove. I just wasn't a big Nelly fan at all when it came out. Then all of a sudden, it became a phenomenon. And as Eminem blew up, he was known for his lyrical skill and the fact that he's white. So they're selling the fact he's white and got lyrical skill as if that's never happened before. So he became the freak of nature we need to pay attention to. And that was his bargaining point. So the second album was going to solidify people so they could have their staple in the game. And for Nelly and for Eminem, who ended up in the same type of boat, where, oh, it's a flash in the pans, this is it, one album, one shot, he blew up, he got lucky, second album, flop, he gone. We go to the next. So the pressure for them to come out with the next album, both had to blow and hit up and take off, and Nellyville took off and was the only album to ever put up those type of numbers next to Eminem. Eminem album went 10 million. Nelly album sold like 8 million. So they were the two biggest artists in hip hop. And people was like, Nelly? I'm like, yeah, Nellyville. You better go look up Nellyville, buddy. Nellyville was going neck to neck with Eminem, doing things no hip hop album had ever done, from a guy from St. Louis. So after this, you know, next is you gotta put your group on. You gotta put your crew on, and they gotta blow. That's the move. So naturally, here comes the St. Lunatics. His crew from St. Louis, and you know, they ready to blow, they enthused. It's the homies. And Eminem has got his D12. Detroit. So D12 is getting ready to drop an album and come out. And it's rumblings going on that nobody can prove to this day that Eminem and D12 was taking shots at Nelly in St. Louis. The Lunatics, when they were doing the photo shoot for the Source magazine. the Source magazine had a feature of St. Lunatics, and they had D12. And they've been hearing things that's been said supposedly through other people saying that they're dissing. So the Source was kind of playing off the fact like it's a battle, Detroit versus St. Louis, and setting up the theme. But they didn't know where that was really going by them like playing around like that or just entertaining that, because the internet wasn't what it was at that time, and people don't know too much of anything. So when you say that, they're gonna think, okay, they battle. So it's a battle that's going on. And anyway, Nelly was on TRL and brought the public into how he was feeling about Eminem and exposed it on a world stage. And they asked him about Eminem. They was going to go to Eminem's video, so they was ready to segue. They was like, "Oh, you like Eminem?" He was like, "I don't really mess with Dirty. I don't really mess with that candy. But I eat M&Ms. I eat M&Ms. So whatever is whatever. I've been hearing dude been saying things." So he let the whole world know on a public stage that there's a problem with Eminem and that he can't do shows in St. Louis. He better not do a show in St. Louis. You just told Eminem this on a world stage, which is his stage. TRL, MTV promoted Eminem more than any rap artist of all time on TRL. He was there every week doing little skits, doing everything. They put so much marketing dollars behind them because of the Eminem Power Team, the way it was structured, to push it to the teens. So who's going to run out and want to buy the album. So you just did this on basically Eminem's stage. So now there's problems. There's major problems for the first time. And here comes a song called Detroit Grammar that comes out. And Eminem, they were like, Eminem's taking shots at Nelly. And I listened to the song. I didn't really hear a shot at Nelly on the song, really, besides the title. And D12 lyrics, whoever was rapping on it, sounded like they might have been taking some shots. But the Eminem verse was kind of whack. It was almost like, I'm just finna talk reckless, and then somebody else can follow it up, and they gonna put more to it. But I'm gonna just say a couple of lines, jump out, and you can put it to wherever it go. But the lines is really whack. It wasn't really dope, so that's probably why you won't be able to find the song anywhere. But I remember he had that song. It wasn't a diss. I think he was just using it when he was like, "When I'm going to get to stomping in my Air Force Ones, you won't be able to tell if it's two pairs or one." But I think he was just using that for the song. I think that had nothing to do with this whatsoever. But anyway, Paul Rosenberg, Eminem's manager, told Jimmy Iovine, "We might have a problem here with this Nelly situation. Let me try to resolve it." Because Jimmy said, "Well, that's your problem. That's why you're the manager. You manage it." So he was like, okay. He made a couple of calls. Nelly had a tour with the St. Lunatics. They couldn't come through Detroit. St. Lunatics couldn't come through Detroit. They couldn't do the Michigan show. They lost 4 shows that they were supposed to be booked. And they were like, "Man, what's going on?" And then Nelly's manager said, "Look, we got a call from Eminem's manager, Paul Rosenberg, and they want to have a conversation with you." And he was like, "Whoa, what happened?" So they talked to Nelly and talked to his manager, and he's like, "We never did anything. We never said anything to you. And for you to go on MTV, there was a major, diss to Eminem. Eminem felt threatened by it. He didn't like it. He didn't think anything about your music. He didn't really pay any attention to it. but much success to you. He never even put anything out public against you. So once Detroit Grammar came out, and they made the phone call, and for Nelly to get the tour and all of these dates back on track that they wanted to do with the Saint Lunatics album, he had to come out publicly and apologize to Eminem. And then they would just drop the whole thing. And then he can go and do his shows, no more problems, nothing. So all of a sudden, Nelly comes out, makes a public apology about Eminem, like, oh, you know, there's no beef, you know, it's done. I made a mistake. And once that was out, they lifted the ban on Nelly. Nelly could go any place he wanted to go. He was getting concert dates, no problem. He can get bands to do songs with him. He was no red tape no more for Nelly. But that just shows you just a sample of what type of power Eminem had behind him, and still does. But now they don't need him no more. But at the time, oh, buddy, did they need him.